Recording started. Okay. Well, welcome. This is called the Monday Morning Sales Clinics, just to power you up for the week, and also to give you some kind of new ideas around selling and getting out there and marketing. And so I say the next 8 weeks. It's actually a 6-week program. We're gonna 8 weeks with the coaching. We're gonna be masterminding like we are today. We're gonna learn. There's gonna be some homework today. Accountability, hopefully some teamwork, and ideally my goal is that you have a new relationship to selling, that I take some of the fear away of it. I look at it as it's fun, it's engaging, it's a chance to make new connections, and you know the old adage, if you don't ask, you don't get. So we're going to look at knowing yourself, knowing your niche, warming up the sales call, developing a sales action plan. Selling is really just about having a good conversation with someone, overcoming the fear of the whole process, and also asking questions, the ability to ask good questions. We're going to look at that over the next several weeks, and the importance of don't give up, stay in touch, and building relationships with your customers after the fact. One of the key reasons we miss a lot of sales is that we forget our customers. So we're going to look at that too over the next 6 weeks. So there's a lot of ground to cover over the next 6 weeks. And really what I like to begin with is the importance of knowing yourself first, knowing your value, what you bring to the table. I think that's really a critical place to start when it comes to selling and marketing. You got to know yourself. So in order to begin a conversation with any prospect, whether it's at a networking event or you're making a prospecting call, you got to know what it is you do for your clients. What are the core benefits that you offer to your prospects and clients? So what are some of the outcomes a client or prospect would get from working with you? Anybody want to chime in on that? And welcome Dr. Michael Irving. He's with us on the call as well. So welcome to you. Good morning and happy New Year. What are some of the outcomes that a client or prospect might get from working with you? How do you improve their lives or their bottom line? Any ideas? Comments? No? No comments? So I'm going to send you all the PowerPoint and after. So this is going to be part of the homework for you all to do over the next week. Really, you want to get clear as to what are those outcomes. What are some of the benefits that your clients get from working with you? How do you help your clients? Do you help them save money? Do you help them be more efficient, like in an IT sense? Do you help them with technology to make technology help them become more profitable? Spend less time? How do you change or improve your client's life or business for the better? That's going to be really important to really get clear on. And the other thing is, what's the experience you want your customers to have when they work with you? Because in a lot of cases, customers want experience. They buy based on feeling and emotion, and it's really important to sort of generate the kind of experience you want your customers to have when they engage with you. So you want to be mindful of that, and to really factor that in your business planning and your engagement with your clients. What's the experience from beginning to end? I'll give you an example of how important experience is. And I happen to belong to Good Life Fitness. I don't know if anybody else goes there, but they actually train their customer service reps, the people you see as you walk in at the desk, and they have a training program they put each rep on, and it's called it's sort of like the $1 million welcome program, I think, or something like that. Anyway, what they do is, if you come in off the street and come into Good Life just to look around, Sorry, it's the $1 million meet and greet, or no, the world class meet and greet. That's what it's called. When you come in off the street, there is a process that they have when you come in. First of all, they shake your hand, and they shake it in a way where they put two hands on your hand. Then they get you to relax, and they comment on, oh, that's such a nice top you're wearing, or that's a nice scarf, or that's a nice brooch, or whatever. And then they ask, hey, what brought you in today? Like, what are you here to, to hopefully have and find out? And what are your goals? And then they'll ask, like, would you have time to have a tour? Would you have time to see one of our reps? So and then they ask, how did you find out about us? And that question is critical, because that's to engage what's working as far as their advertising and marketing. So they want the customer to have a really wonderful experience from the time they walk in to the time they become a member, and also when they are members. Good Life is one of the few companies I know here in Canada that subscribes to the FISH philosophy of customer service. And I'm not sure if you've read that book, but it might be a nice book to get at the library. It's called Fish and Fish Sticks, and it's based on the system that Pike's Fish Market in Seattle has developed for their business. So really, you want to get clear as to what's the experience. So hopefully by next week you can come back and have some answers for me on these. I hope so. Yeah, somebody has a comment there.
Oh, huh?
Yeah, any comments? Okay.
Is it because I jumped in with something as well?
What's that?
Hello? Oh, I was thinking what experience you want people to have. Another cool way or good way of thinking about it is, what are your core values? So for example, the way that you relate to your friends, or the way you relate to people who you deeply respect. Again, it's kind of going to the beginning, what you were talking about, getting to know who you are. So it's, in addition to knowing what experience you want to provide, it's knowing what you really care to provide for people. So do you want to be giving them lots of value because you like sharing value, and that kind of feeds into liking to teach or guide people, for example?
Yeah, exactly. You want to definitely bring your values, and values by values. We pride ourselves on excellent customer service. Well, that's nice, but what goes into that? And that's where the values come in, and a value of treating people with respect, equally. You value creativity, or what are the values that you want to see in your business? Funnily enough, like last week, I don't know if anyone else has done this in the past week, but I always set out my mission every year this time of year, and my values are right in my mission, and then I set goals for the year as well. So really important to do that, and to bring your values to your business. Andrea chimes in. She loves that. She's going to do the vision board and put her values on her vision board. That's great. Awesome. In terms of knowing yourself, so you have to know the value that you bring to the table. Here's an example of how knowing yourself can work. These are some marketing facts. Like, a professional organizer has research that states the average business owner wastes 9 days a year looking for lost files and paperwork. Well, when a professional organizer talks in this kind of way, it kind of gets, your customer or your prospect, if you're at a networking event or a conference, it gets people thinking, wow, 9 days a year, really? And then the follow-up to that is, what would you do with an extra 9 days a year? I worked with a business machine computer cleaner repair guy. He used to come in and clean your equipment, of all the dust in the back and everything. And he found a research study that says there are more germs on a computer keyboard at work than there are on a toilet seat. And he used that as an opener. So he got that's a gross thought. You know, you kind of think like, you know, here he is, he's promoting something very mundane, you know, like computer cleaning and cleaning up your office equipment, changing cartridges, things like that. But when he starts to lead a conversation with, there are more germs on a computer keyboard at work than there are on a toilet seat, that gets people kind of thinking and kind of going, ooh, gross, right? I got to change that. One more, a vitamin company used a Harvard study that states that we're getting 30% less nutritional value in our daily intake of fruits and vegetable each day. So, you know, that's also true. That gets people kind of thinking about, you know, oh, what are you eating? What are you having? So
drug history problems. Okay, no. How much do you drink?
So it's really important, really, to get clear as to do some research. Start doing your market research to get clear on your value. What facts, data, studies, and research do you know about your industry that you can put into, you know, how you address somebody at the beginning? So really important to, you know, to start doing your homework and market research. So 2 things to start today. Really important to get clear as to your value and what you bring to the table and how you help your clients and be able to communicate that. The second thing is, and this is the first step in the Joy of Six, is to research. To get to know your industry, to begin to really know the benefits of what your business does. Look towards research, market data, industry data, Google. One of the things I do is actually subscribe to Google News stories about my industry. And then they come in, I subscribe to them, I get them in my inbox, email inbox once a week. And I use that, what I learn from that, and I use those current sort of news studies in my marketing languaging, in my conversations with my clients. So you want to also, in terms of research, ask your current clients why they like you, why they bought your goods and services, and then you can reflect that back to new prospects and new clients. Any questions so far? Any questions? Anybody? Well, I see the question bar going. I got to open the dashboard here. And any questions? Let's see. Nope. Okay, we're good. So if you have any, don't forget to chime in, okay? Please, please, please feel free to chime in at any moment. Okay. Let's see. All right.
David, I have a question.
Please. Yeah? Hello? Hello? I can't hear you now. Can everybody hear me? Maimuna?
Yep.
I can hear you.
Okay. All right.
David, it's me. It's Miguel here.
Okay, Miguel.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Sorry, I've been muting and unmuting myself, and I guess now I'm unmuted. So
Okay, good.
you can hear me fine. I do have a question, and your facts and getting information about our industry, I think, is a very interesting concept, something we haven't really done enough of. Where do you suggest that we would be able to find some of this information about our specific industry?
Oh, that's a great question, and it's really quite simple. First of all, definitely subscribe to Google News alerts about your industry. So you go into Google and you type in news, and then you type in, you know, the IT industry in Canada, for example, and you'll see a number of stories come up. And then at the bottom of the pane or the page, usually they ask, like, do you want a Google News alert about this? And then you say, yes, I do, and then it'll ask you to subscribe to Google News alerts. The other critical thing is, you know, joining your trade associations. Everyone's got some sort of a trade association that might be affiliated with your industry or your business, and tap into the trade associations for information. Real quick case in point, a number of years ago, I used to sell promotional products and incentives, and our association, the Promotional Products Association of Canada did a study, a very cool study and a very cool research program on the effects of advertising. So they did a poll about 6 weeks after the Super Bowl and asked those who watched it if they could remember, how many commercials could they remember. And on average, people would, about 6 weeks after, could remember maybe 2 or 3 commercials. And they said, do you know that there were over like 10, advertisers during the Super Bowl? And for you to remember only 2 or 3 is, it's probably not that good, because, you spend millions of dollars on advertising for the Super Bowl. And to get that kind of a result 6 weeks later isn't that good. And then they asked, okay, your little mug that you use every day, can you remember whose logo is on it? And they almost had, like, everybody could remember, like, instantly. Oh yeah, it's Tim Hortons, or it's Bob's Auto. And so they said, well, here's the distinction, and here's why promotional marketing and products work, is that the recollection of the logo and the company on a mug that you use every day, which costs like $2 to $3, is way above the recollection that you have when it comes time to remembering an ad on the Super Bowl, in which they spent millions and millions of dollars on. So never mind the production costs and whatnot. So you can go to your industry or industry association, and they can also provide that kind of information to Miguel. Okay? And also tap into the local Chamber of Commerce, your local economic development office, and also local media to stock up on research as well, because your local media usually will have a media kit, and it'll give you sort of an overview of what's going on within the business community. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Excellent. My pleasure. So really, it's like, know your value, know yourself. So when I talk about value, people go, well, yeah, value, what's value? Well, value is the sum of your benefits minus cost equals value. I don't know if you can see that on the bottom. And there's 4 key benefits that we as entrepreneurs, small business owners, have to be mindful of. And one is a product benefit. So if you have a product, what are the benefits of the product? What is the client getting from using your product? How are you improving their life, their bottom line, whatever, their health in Dr. Michael Irving's case? How are you improving something? What are the results that people get from using your product? If you're not producing a product, then what are the benefits of your service? Like, what do we get from using your service? What's that promise? What's the promise of performance that you're offering your clients? The other 2 benefits are a relationship benefit. What's the benefit of a relationship? Is it that, hey, we call you back within 2 hours, or you'll get quotes within 24 hours, or what is it that your clients can count on you for? And then lastly, and this is ongoing, it's especially at the small business level, and that's the brand benefit. What's the benefit of your brand? And I'll give you an example of each, okay, in terms of how does this look, right? So in terms of your product benefit, a really good example is spinach. I'm not sure if you know this, but spinach has got antioxidants, it eliminates free radicals, it prevents cancer in both men and women, it's highly nutritious, it's got vitamin K to help your eyesight, and not only that, Popeye loved it, right? So that's a product that's loaded with all kinds of health benefits. So now when you know that, cost doesn't matter so much, because you've shown the benefits of that product. A really good example of a service benefit is FedEx. And a few years ago, their slogan was, when it absolutely positively has to get their next day delivery or else, use FedEx. that's a benefit, a clear benefit that people will pay for. You know, when your package has to get to Montreal tomorrow morning for 9:30, or else you'll lose the deal, you know what? I don't care what I'm paying. I'm using FedEx. I'm going to go to FedEx. I'm going to drop my shipment off, and they're going to get it from there for me the next day. So that's really critical. Really good example of a relationship benefit, and I think TD Bank has done a really good job of it, especially in the past with those two old guys. And we have a relationship now with TD Bank that we know that they're open late till 8, and they're open on Saturdays and Sundays too. Remember, they used to check their watch. What day is it today? And so we have a relationship. We know we can count on the TD Bank to be open when we need them, right? And then lastly, a brand benefit, and some good examples of brand benefit. Heinz Ketchup. You know, they're so confident about their brand. Their slogan was, Heinz, there are no other kinds. Yet there's 4 other kinds of ketchup. Can anybody guess what they are? Any guesses? Well, I'll let you know. There's Hunt's, Aylmer, Edie Smith, and of course, No Name, your store brand. So when you have there's a sort of a brand trust with Heinz. You know, you don't go to Loblaws and go, oh yeah, I'm going to get some Edie Smith ketchup today. You go to Loblaws and you're buying Heinz ketchup, right? You know you can trust TD Bank to be open. You know when it comes to service, FedEx is going to get your shipment there. You know now spinach is loaded with all kinds of nutritious benefits. So it's really important to understand the value equation. Value is the sum of your benefits minus cost equals value. When you can show enough benefit, you'll get out of the cost discussion with your clients real fast, because they'll see the benefits. And you know the old saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So there are the some of the benefits, right? Remember that benefits actually do the selling. Some other brand benefits, Coca-Cola, Kleenex, McDonald's. You take a 2-year-old to McDonald's, they already know what's going on in there, which is scary. Tim Hortons is another example of a relationship benefit. We have a relationship with Tim Hortons, you know, with their coffee. Whether the food's good or bad for you, I'm worried about Michael Irving going, oh, what's he doing? You know, you still have a relationship with them. So what are the benefits? If you offer a service, what are 3 benefits you think that will matter most to your prospective customer? Anyone want to chime in there? What are some benefits that, you know, that would matter, do you think, to your prospective customer?
Cost savings?
Yeah, cost savings. Excellent. Anyone else? How about increased, you know, sales? Or improved health in Dr. Michael Irving's case, right? Really important. Thanks, Michael Irving, on the chat bar. Oh yeah, Del Monte. He says, "Enjoy what you eat. I won't judge you." Thank you. So it's really important to get clear as to what are those benefits. So that's part of your homework this week. If you sell a product, you know, what are 3 benefits that you think will make a difference to your prospective clients? What are they going to get? Because when you're speaking to anybody, any new client, prospect, whether it's at a conference, a trade show, you make a call to them, you're at a networking event, you know, they're coming from the perspective of, okay, what do you got for me? What's in it for me? And you've got to be able to answer that in a, you know, very succinct, clear, and you know, here are the hard results that we're going to get for you, right? And then the other little thing I want you to work with this week is, how can you enhance the image or impression a client has of you and your business? Can you think of 3 essential, this is where Andrea comes in, 3 essential marketing tactics that you can take to drive home the image you want to be known for in the marketplace? In other words, what are those things that your clients can count on you for? What can we count on you for? What are you going to do for us? and really be clear about communicating those two. Any questions? How y'all doing? You okay on this chilly Monday morning? All right, let's forge ahead. We're going to get you to work on your value propositions in a second here. Here's some value, and this is another thing that's really important, another way to launch into a conversation with a client, and that, again, is really get clear on the value. So a weak value proposition, if you're in insurance, is we sell insurance. Well, yeah, that's nice. So does everybody else, right? But what's stronger is we help families and individuals protect their most important assets. Ah, now you're talking, right? Now you're getting my attention, right? And that's what we have to do. We have studies show that we have 9 seconds to get someone's attention. So when you're making maybe a prospecting call or you're at a networking event speaking, you've got 9 to 10 seconds to speak to get someone's attention. What is it that's going to make you fascinating and different and outstanding enough that people are going to go, whoa, I want to talk to them. They're talking my language. Here's another example of a weak and strong value proposition. Here, a weak one is we're the leading provider of multimedia advertising services. Oh, yeah, well, ho-hum. How about we help businesses improve their bottom line? Now you're getting there, right? Or here's Nike's. Originally their value proposition was we sell shoes and athletic gear. Oh yeah, well, so does Puma and Adidas and everybody else, right? Now their mission or their value proposition and mission statement is we bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. If you have a body, you're an athlete. So we're going to get you to write yours. So, write your value proposition. So one of the things to keep in mind as you do is what's the important end result that you get for your clients? What's that end result? What's that value that you're delivering? So take a moment now while we're on the call to create your own value proposition. So who is your target customer? Who do you want to really kind of focus on? What's the need or challenge or problem they're having? And then what is it that you do in simple terms? Well, we've developed this. And then what is it? What's the outcome that helps them achieve it? What do you do for the client? Okay, so take a moment to work this through. So, for example, a good target customer. I'll give you an example of a colleague of mine who does yoga for over plus size women. So our market are plus size women who feel uncomfortable and challenged by doing yoga at a gym or at a regular yoga studio. We've developed a yoga program for plus size women called Yoga for Round Bodies, and we do it in a way that has them feel comfortable, not judged, and we do it in a warm, loving environment. So that's what we help them achieve. And that's a business actually here in Toronto. It's called Health Salon Health Yoga, and it's a program called Yoga for Round Bodies. So take a moment to create your value proposition, and let's hear what you got to say in a couple minutes. Okay, I'll give you a couple minutes on this. Is that cool?
Can I just jump onto that, David? Kind of bringing that back to before when you're saying knowing yourself, that kind of ties into also knowing your clients, knowing your niche. So, like, what are their dreams, their desires, and hopes for their lives, and, like, what's their world view? What do they want from their life? What do they think is unique about them? That would also really help in refining your value proposition as well.
Yeah, totally. This is a very simple methodology. Hope you're all working on it and writing. Even if you're not clear who your target customer is, just think of, like, who would you really like to work with? Maybe it's people just like you, if you're a life coach or something like that. Maybe it's people who have had, heart issues or, health issues and want to really improve their health. What's their need and challenge or problem? what do you have for them, and what's the outcome they'll get from working with you. I feel like anybody want to sing? We do this. There's a little silence on the phone.
Okay, David, it's Miguel here. I've got something.
Okay, let's hear it.
So again, we're an IT solution provider, and our value proposition would be we help your business focus on succeeding by improving productivity, better serve customers, and be more competitive.
Sweet. And what is it that you've developed?
Well, actually, it's not something we develop necessarily. It's that we keep the technology, which we see it as the engine that runs your business, or that your people can use to run the business. We keep that engine running smoothly and healthy.
Yes. Yeah, because if you lose your technology, how many of us, just we forget our cell phones at home and we're lost, right?
Oh, absolutely, and it causes a lot of stress, and you don't want that in a typical work environment.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Anybody else have a value proposition? Just a brief one? Anyone else want to go? Evelyn, I unmuted you. Not sure if you can chime in there or if you're ready. All right, let's move forward just for the sake of your time. This would be part of the homework. I'd like to see you come back to me next week with your value proposition. So see if you can fine-tune it, okay? And this value proposition that I'm using, based on the work of a guy by the name of Alex Osterwalder of Strategizer.com. He's I don't know if any of you have heard of this business model canvas. And it's basically a strategic management and lean startup template for developing new or documenting existing business models. And it's a visual chart that you can actually download online with elements describing your company's value proposition, your infrastructure, your customers, your finances, the problems you solve for your customers, and how you're going to do it. It's like a one-page business plan. So I don't know how many of you have an actual business plan. If you don't, I really encourage you to work on one. But you might want to look at the business model canvas and just start there. At least start there. And if you want, I also have a tool that I have. It's called the one-page business plan. And I can email that to you. So just let me know in an email that you'd like the one-page business plan as well, and I can send that to you by email today. So just email me back. But this, the value proposition is really important. It's a great way to have a conversation with a client. It's a great thing to use at a networking event. It's also phenomenal to put on your website. I have my value proposition. It's the second thing you see, and on my website there's a title, and then I have my value proposition. So people want to know, what are you going to do for me? What's the value? What are we going to get? So really important in this session to know yourself, know your value, do the homework, do the research. So my quest for you this week is Discuss your value statement with a buddy or a colleague this week and ask them, does your value proposition inspire them to want to work with you? Or do you need to dig a little deeper and ask the client what really matters to them? So get that feedback this week, and let's see next week if you can make your value statement even juicier. And I'll give you an example. There's a weight loss professional, and yeah, you know, weight loss, as Dr. Irving might agree to, is quite important in terms of our overall health and well-being, and it's better for our heart. But one of the things that really matters to people is, yeah, if you lose weight, you're going to rock in the bedroom. You're going to feel sexy in the bedroom. So, you know, that speaks to somebody. That's juicy, right? And that gets a little bit of attention. Yes, it's important. Let's not, you know, kid ourselves. It's important from a health perspective. But, you know, imagine just feeling trimmer and sexier in the bedroom. You know, that's the stuff. That's the juice that inspires your customers and people you're going to work with. So really important, you know, the first step in this sort of Joy of Six is to know yourself. Be a student of your industry. Go to Google. Subscribe to your Google News alerts about your industry. Get to know the trends, the success stories, and how your industry and what you do really adds value and the benefits to your client's life or business. The bottom line is you got to know your stuff before you even get out there. So the first step in selling to me is market research. So, you know, why do market research? Like, that's boring, right? Why do market research? To me, it's an ongoing process. So you got to know what's going on out there. Number one, you got to know what's going on in your client's world. What pain are they in? What challenges do they have? How do you solve those pain points and challenges? What is it you're going to do for someone? And that's another great way to communicate, you know, the value of what you're bringing to the table. So I lead with market research because it's really important to know, you know, about your industry and how it can impact your client's life in a positive way. But it's also important to know what's going on in your client's world. What's happening for them? What are they going through? So the reason I have that as the first step in the sales process is know yourself, know your client, and then you can start to engage with them. So don't forget to always be, I used to, now I can't do it so much, but I used to spend a couple hours Monday morning doing my research. So I'd go to the library, I'd get outside of my office, and I'd go to the library and do a little bit of market research. Because Monday morning, from a sales perspective, is a bit of a dead zone. So, I'd go, I'd research, I'd find out information, I'd go online, I'd just get myself out of the office, and I called it, Research Mondays. So something kind of fun to do. And the more I know about the customer, the more I know about my industry and how I can help the customer, the better I'm going to be in terms of getting them engaged and getting them to be interested in what it is I'm selling and doing. Does that make sense? I hope. All right. The other reason why you want to research is if you're, really up to date on what's going on in your industry and in your client's world, it helps to position you as an expert. It helps you really tap into your client's world by knowing what your client's challenges and issues are. And then when you talk to them and you have conversations with them and you say, look, I know this could be going on for you. Is this true? If so, I have something that might help you. Your prospects and clients are going to want to, oh yeah, tell me more. And it really does. It shows you know your stuff. It helps you solve problems for your clients, and it helps you relate to your clients and prospects in a much more profound way. Give you an example of how research can play out in a business situation. And I worked with a home stager a few years ago, and she came into my office almost crying. This was during the real estate debacle back in 2008, 2009, and she came. Actually, it was 2009. When the markets fell flat, And she came into the office almost crying in her coaching session with me. And she was saying, oh, my God, the bottom's fallen out. I'm not getting any business. Nobody's responding. Nobody's, working with me. It's horrible, right? And I said, okay, first of all, breathe, let's see what's going on in your industry. So what we did is we went on to Google News, and I typed in, home staging, right? And we got an article out of a Florida newspaper. This is a true story. I couldn't believe it because Florida got really hard hit by the real estate debacle back then. And the article said that homes that were staged were getting 9%, even in this economy, homes that were staged were getting 9% more on the resale value of the house than homes that weren't staged. And they were also selling a lot faster than homes that weren't staged. So I said, her name was Deborah. I said, Deborah, you got to use this in your marketing messaging. So she she used it, word for word pretty well. And she started to call on real estate agents to drum up business, do a little prospecting. And she used that very story, word for word. She said, hi, Joe, it's Deborah from XYZ Home Staging. Studies are showing, reports are showing that even in this economy, that homes that are staged are getting 9% more in the resale value of the house, and they're selling faster. Is this a result you'd like for your real estate practice? Because if it is, that's what we do. And I'd love to meet you to show you my work and see if we can work together. What do you think started to happen after that? She
definitely got more. She definitely got more interest generated.
You got
saying that.
Yeah, and she got appointments. Now, what if they? Can you imagine like a real estate agent saying no to that? Yeah, pretty doubtful. If it was a no, then then you got to probe the no, and we'll get to that later on in this next few weeks. So that was the home stager. It was quite impactful using research in your conversations. So here's the homework. You got to work on your value proposition, answer some of those questions we went through. Let me know if you want the one-page business plan format, if you need a business plan. But, get really clear. I want you to get clear next week on some of the benefits. I want you to work on, find a research study that pertains to your industry, your client's industry, that you can start a conversation around, like the computer guy. There's more germs on your computer keyboard at work than there are on a toilet seat. The minute I hear that, I just go, oh, yeah, that's gross. And see if you can get a mentor. Somebody in sales or business that you really like that might mentor you. Dr. Michael Irving would be proud to know that one of my goals for this year is to take off 50 pounds. And I have a mentor, and I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited about this goal. And maybe there's an accountability partner, somebody on the call today that you might want to work with, someone that you can team up with and have a call maybe once every couple of weeks to say, hey, how's it going? How's the prospecting going? Are you getting out there? Are you seeing enough clients? Are you talking it up enough? Are you getting enough meetings? Because usually what I find when, if you're not in action enough, that's where things fall down. That's where you're not gonna get the results. You got to be in action. You got to be making those calls every day. No more than an hour a day, by the way. And I'll get to that later. You got to be making those meetings. You got to be out networking and seeing people. And hopefully some of the people that you're going to work with are going to be interested in what it is you're doing. So that's your homework this week. Any questions at all? Did you learn anything today? Did anybody learn anything?
Yes.
New? Yeah, cool.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Excellent. And thanks, Dr. Michael Irving. I got your message here on the screen. Lots, Andrea. Thank you. So just email me. I think you all have my email. It's thecoach@smallbusinessbigideas.com, Dave, if you want. And I'll send you out anyway this PowerPoint. And I'll also send you, if you want, the one-page business plan. All right? So we're going to just wrap, and we're going to do this next Monday at 9 o'clock. And I just want to thank you all for your business and support. And I'm also going to put this on YouTube, so I'll let you know if you want to share it with any of your colleagues. I'll post it on YouTube too this week. Any other questions or comments?
Yes, David, it's Miguel here.
Miguel?
When you send out your PowerPoint, do you mind just summarizing what the homework is? Make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, it's on. The homework is right here. It's on the PowerPoint itself. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's. I'm going to go back. So it's what are your benefits? So next week, say, oh yeah, you know what? We do this for our clients. Is there a research study that you can share that pertains to your industry? Maybe work this week on getting a mentor or an accountability partner to work with. And the other thing is fine-tune that value proposition. Test drive it this week, okay?
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you as well. Any other questions? Let me just see the dashboard. I got a dashboard. I got questions here. I got all these panels, all these little things to monitor. So I think we're okay. Just double check. Oh, and Gabriella will troubleshoot her microphone. I hope so. It'd be nice to hear you, Gabriella. So that's it for this session. I just want to thank you all for taking part and being a part of this, and just have a really beautiful week ahead, okay? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, David.
My pleasure. Be well, everyone. We'll see you next Monday at 9.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maimuna.
Take care.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, David. You're great.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.